Good morning, Mount of Praise family and friends. I've entitled this morning's devotion as Abiding in the Shelter. The focus of my devotions will be centered around Psalm 91, verses 1 to 6. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. We all have our homes where we live, and within recent times, some persons have had to be quarantined in Barbados and all over the world. Then, most recently, we have had the implemented curfew, where we have been asked to stay indoors. The psalmist in Psalm 91, verse 1 states that he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Where are you dwelling today? I am not speaking literally, but spiritually. If you are today dwelling in God's shelter, you are in a great place. God's shelter is a place of sweet communion, a special place where nothing can penetrate. In that shelter, not only do you have protection, but you have fellowship with God. You are safe and at peace. When we dwell with God, we commune with Him and we trust Him. We are safe, as the psalmist outlines in verse 5 and 6 of Psalm 91. We're safe from the fowler's snares, diseases, things that happen at night, arrows secretly shot at us by Satan, and pestilence. What is the shadow of the Almighty? We all at one point in time always seek shade from the sun. We like to be protected from the sun's elements and rays, and so we tend to seek out shade. When we stand under a canopy of trees, we find shelter, and we remain there as we stay cool and protected. When you take a close look, one can see the shadows of the trees as they blow in the wind. It's similar to us being in the shadow of the Almighty. We are found in Him, protected by Him, and mind you, just being in His shadow is refreshing, eventful, and peaceful. Today, where are you resting? Are you resting in the shadow of the Almighty? In verse 2 of Psalm 91, the psalmist is affirmative and has an assurance in God's protection. So he says, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. What is a refuge? A place of rest and security. What is a fortress? A strong high tower, a power of defense. These are adjectives describing God. In other words, I will say of the Lord, He is my place of rest and security. He is my strong high tower, my power of defense. What does it mean to trust God? This means that you believe in God, that your fullest confidence is in God. Is God your refuge? Is He your fortress? How does God protect us? 1, He delivers us from the traps and snares of the evil one, that is Satan, that leads to destruction. Verse 4 of Psalm 91 states that He hides us under His feathers and wings. Imagine a bird and her young ones are protected by them burying themselves under their mother's wings and feathers. They find warmth and peace and remain restful knowing that their mother has their back. In very much the same way, God has our back and ensures that no harm will come near us. 3. God's faithfulness towards us will be a shield and rampart. Shield protects the soldier when he is in battle against the enemy. Hence, if we see God as a shield, it means God's protection against the enemy, that yet again he will fight for us. I want to encourage those of you who are already dwelling with God to continue to do so. Those of you who presently do not, I want to encourage you as the psalmist does. Make the Most High God your dwelling place. It is an awesome place to be, a comforting place to be where you're at peace. When the Lord your God is your refuge, no harm will befall you. No disaster will come near you. How can you dwell in that shelter with God? Take the first step by believing in God. Trust that He will take care of you and protect you. In concluding, I want to encourage you to be with God. Dwell with God in the shelter and abide in His shadow. Don't ever come out. This coronavirus has come to pass, and so, because of this virus, we are now in our temporary shelters. That is, our homes. But I want to encourage you, when it has passed, you will be permitted to leave your homes. But I want to encourage you, though, do not come out from your shelter with God. Remain in there permanently. God never promised us a life free of problems, difficulties, or hardships. But He did promise us that He will take those who trust Him through the tough times. Be blessed.